Have you ever wondered how a single event could change the course of history? The attack on Pearl Harbor did just that, catapulting the United States into World War II and setting the stage for an epic journey from devastation to victory. World War II was one of the most significant events of the 20th century, shaping the modern world as we know it. America's involvement in the war was crucial in turning the tide against the Axis powers. In this comprehensive guide, we will delve into the key moments, strategies, and figures that defined America's role in World War II, backed by facts and figures that underscore the enormity of this global conflict. The attack on Pearl Harbor. On December 7, 1941, the world watched in shock as Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. This devastating assault resulted in the deaths of over 2,400 Americans, the sinking of 4 battleships, and damage to numerous other vessels and aircraft. The attack crippled the U.S. Pacific Fleet and thrust the United States into World War II. The very next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress, famously calling December 7th a date which will live in infamy. Congress swiftly declared war on Japan, marking the official entry of the United States into the global conflict. America's mobilization. The attack on Pearl Harbor galvanized the American public, ending the isolationist sentiment that had prevailed in the years leading up to the war. The U.S. rapidly mobilized its economy and society for war. Factories that once produced consumer goods were retooled to manufacture tanks, planes, and ships. The War Production Board was established to oversee this massive industrial effort. By 1944, the United States was producing more military equipment than the Axis powers combined. The European theater. In Europe, the U.S. joined forces with the Allies to combat Nazi Germany. One of the first major American engagements was Operation Torch in November 1942, where Allied forces landed in North Africa to fight German and Italian troops. This operation marked the beginning of a sustained American military presence in the European theater. In June 1944, the Allies launched Operation Overlord, better known as D-Day, where more than 156,000 American, British, and Canadian troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. This massive invasion marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The Pacific Theater. In the Pacific, the U.S. engaged in a series of island-hopping campaigns to push back Japanese forces. One of the first significant battles was the Battle of Midway in June 1942, where American forces under Admirals Nimitz, Spruance, and Fletcher decisively defeated the Japanese fleet, sinking 4 aircraft carriers. This battle shifted the balance of power in the Pacific. Another critical campaign was the Guadalcanal Campaign, which lasted from August 1942 to February 1943. The development of the atomic bomb. One of the most significant scientific and military efforts of the war was the Manhattan Project, a secret U.S. program to develop an atomic bomb. Initiated in 1942 and led by physicist J. Robert Oppenheimer, the project brought together some of the brightest scientific minds of the time. After years of intensive research and development, the first successful test of an atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, took place on July 16, 1945, in the New Mexico desert. With the successful test, President Harry S. Truman faced a monumental decision. On August 6, 1945, the U.S. dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima, resulting in an estimated 140,000 deaths by the end of the year. 3 days later, a second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, killing an additional 70,000 people. These devastating attacks led to Japan's surrender on August 15, 1945, effectively ending World War II. Post-war impact. The aftermath of World War II saw the United States emerging as a global superpower. The war effort had led to significant technological and military advancements, including the development of nuclear weapons. Economically, the U.S. was left relatively unscathed compared to the devastation in Europe and Asia, which positioned it as the world's leading economic power. Social and cultural impact. World War II also had profound social and cultural impacts on American society. The wartime economy and the need for labor led to significant changes in the workforce, with more women and minorities entering industries previously dominated by white men. Legacy of sacrifice. The sacrifices made by millions of Americans during World War II are remembered and honored to this day. More than 400,000 American soldiers lost their lives in the conflict, and countless others were wounded. The National World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C., dedicated in 2004, honors the 16 million Americans who served in the armed forces during the war and the more than 400,000 who gave their lives. The journey from Pearl Harbor to victory in World War II is a testament to America's resilience, strategic brilliance, and the incredible sacrifices made by millions of individuals. As we reflect on this pivotal chapter in history, we honor those who served and remember the lessons learned from this monumental conflict. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of America's role in World War II. If you found this guide informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth historical content. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.